Welcome, everyone. We've got a new special guest here. This is for our top 10 new features that you may have missed. So as I just mentioned, in this session, we will be covering some exciting new features that Goodshuffle Pro has released in the past couple of months since the last user summit. So we want to remind you all of the great features that we released in the last year, and of course, review use cases, how the features can help you drive your business. And for several of these, we'll also talk about how to get them turned on in your instance if they are not already there. So my name is Alison. Y'all know me. I'm the Associate Director of Customer Success here at Goodshuffle Pro. And very lucky for us, we also have Brandon Ray. Brandon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yes. My name is Brandon Ray. I am the product team engineering lead. I'm super happy to be here talking with you about what we've been up to lately.
Amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Top 10 new features. So first one we're covering today is my personal favorite, which is quote expiration. So the quote expiration functionality really creates a sense of urgency with your customers to encourage them to book and pay faster. For those of you who have been using quote expiration, you know that your clients will see a big red text up at the top, letting them know that the quote will expire on a certain date. So they see this, they know that they have 7 days, 10 days, 21 days, whatever you have set up in your settings to get that quote signed and back to you. So I'm sure some of y'all have experienced before the quote expiration functionality was live, you'll send out a quote, you don't hear back, maybe you or someone on your team has forgotten to follow up, and 3 days before the event, you get a phone call from that customer that says, hey, are we still on for this Saturday? I need those 400 chairs that I had asked about. And maybe another client has rented those chairs and already paid. Maybe you've got another big event on Saturday, you're not able to do it. So this functionality really allows you to stay fully in control of your events because our system is handling expiring those old quotes and making sure that you are on top of everything that has been signed. Fun stat that I looked at this morning, in the last 30 days, we have actually expired over 3,000 projects in Goodshuffle Pro. So we're saving y'all countless hours of tracking down your clients, researching those old quotes. All of that is done automatically for you. Additionally, from an automation standpoint, the client communications are automated through Goodshuffle as well. So we're sending those quote expiration reminder emails or letting your clients know that those are about to expire. And you can, like all of our templates, customize those, edit those to include your brand messaging, make sure that your customers are seeing the expiration information you'd like them to see. With quote expiration, you can also set it up to either turn off online signatures or to automatically mark the project as lost. So if you just turn off online signatures, we'll keep the project as is. The customer will be prompted to give you a call. They go in, they try to sign, they're not able to do it. And then you have the option to make sure the date is still available. If you need to update anything on their quote, you can do that before resending and unexpiring that project. All right, so I'm going to do a quick poll for us here. I would love to see who is currently using the quote expiration feature. I have a feeling I know the answer, but I want to see what everyone says. Give just one more second here. Okay, amazing. So it looks like over 80% of y'all on the call are using quote expiration, which I absolutely love to hear and see. If you have any good stories about how you used quote expiration or how that saved you time, our team would love to hear about it. And for the 18% of you who are not yet using quote expiration, if you're an admin, you can turn that on either in the settings. You can turn it on in settings either for all of your projects, or you can cherry pick which projects you'd like to turn it on for. So you can do that at the account level or the project level. Later today in the annual only session, Colin will be talking a bit more about how other users have implemented quote expiration. So you'll get to learn a little bit more about some best practices there and how our other users are using it. All right, and I'm going to hand it over to Brandon to talk about receipt of goods and services.
Sure, thank you. So how many of you have ever had a customer claim that they didn't receive a good or service? And of those claims, how many of them happened after the fact and caught you off guard? As far as you knew, everything was perfect. Our new electronic receipt of digital goods or of goods and services is a special digital version of your customer's contract. So upon delivery, your team can access the document on their phone or tablet and then hand it over to the customer to get their confirmation and their signature on delivery. As long as your crew has a digital device, they'll always have everything they need to capture the signature. No more excuses if they don't. Upon signature, you'll immediately receive a confirmation email, and it'll also automatically be attached to the project in Goodshuffle Pro. Just generally implementing this business practice helps protect your business by ensuring you have a digital paper trail of this essential documentation. The easier it is for your team to collect these, the easier it'll be to avoid disputes, saving you time and money. In order to access this eRogs, as we like to call it for shorthand, you can access it in 3 different ways. So you can click in the top right corner of your project page. There's a little digital icon. You can select that, which will allow you to open up the eRogs document. You can also access it through your Google Calendar event. So when your project syncs over to Google Calendar, in the event description, there'll be a link to the eRogs document. And then the last way is on your printed pull sheet, there's a QR code that now shows up. If you scan that, if you open up the camera on your phone and scan that, it'll open up a link tree in Goodshuffle Pro where you can easily click the eRogs document to just quickly pull it up on the fly on your phone. With that, I will hand it back over to Alison to talk a little bit about inventory.
Thanks, Brandon. All right, so hopefully y'all have noticed that we have done a ton of work on our inventory page over the last couple of months. So we've made improvements to filtering, to editing, to the layout, to how the columns are calculated. So we're going to walk through all of those. I know it's a lot to keep track of. So we will walk through all of the changes that we've made and how it is best to utilize them, save yourself some time, and make yourselves more efficient. So the first that we'll talk about here is the improved inventory filtering. So as you can see here on the right, you now have the ability to filter by tags and filter by tax types. So one use case for this is to quickly view items missing a tax type. So many of you are newer to Goodshuffle Pro. When you're first getting your account set up, one of our wonderful onboarding specialists will walk you through how to set up your taxes so that you can very easily add taxes to every project, report on that at the end of the year. But maybe you aren't fully sure of how to get your taxes set up when you're just getting started. So today you can now filter by any inventory items that are missing a tax type, and using bulk edit, which we will talk about in a moment, you can very quickly add those tax types to all of the items that are missing one. You are also eliminating manual sorting here by quickly locating and categorizing inventory items by tags. So you're going to see a full list of all of the tags that you have in the system. You can simplify that by clearing or resetting older tags that are no longer necessary. And again, you can filter quickly by items that are associated with each of those tabs. Pull up that full list of inventory items here. You'll also have the option to save your custom inventory views. Improved edit functionality. So I have a feeling this is some of our users' favorite new feature that we've released recently. So now we have those filters done, tax types, tags. You can make inline edits here now directly from the inventory page. So you may recall just a few short months ago, you would have to click into each inventory item, click on edit, go into that panel on the right to make any changes, but now you can make updates directly from the page. You can quickly mark items as visible on your website, for example. I had a user very recently who just purchased dozens of new chairs. And instead of having to search for each of those chairs, going in, doing the edit, you can edit the quantity posted really quickly in line, save yourself a ton of time, make sure that all of your inventory items are up to date. And then the other edit improvement we've made is bulk edit. So now you can select multiple inventory items at once, really thousands at a time, and then click bulk edit in the top right. The GIF is walking you through the best way to do this. So you can easily increase prices during seasons with high demand, just as quickly decrease them again in the off season. If there are certain inventory items you have that are selling really quickly, things that are extra trendy, extra hot at a certain time of year, you can bump those up in real time to increase your profits. So you can use some of the reporting that we have in Goodshuffle Pro, see which items you're renting most frequently, and then quickly edit those in bulk to increase their prices. We've also had customers use this to adapt to changing business needs. So if you have very recently started doing more weddings or more corporate events or more bar mitzvahs than usual, you can select all of those items. You can add tags. You can change the information about those inventory items here. And again, just to highlight tax types. So again, if you're not properly charging taxes, if you're missing taxes on some of your items, you can add all of those in the bulk edit. We also added a bulk edit audit trail. So there's a lot of accountability built into the bulk edit functionality. You can very easily see who on your team has made inventory edits and when. So you can track when those changes have been made. And with Goodshuffle Pro's website integration, all of the details that you update with bulk edit will also instantly appear on your website. So if you want to add a gallery or add tags to certain items to appear on the website, you can do that with bulk edit. There's no extra steps that you need to take to make that happen. No need to talk to your website developer. All of the changes that you make with the bulk edit will show up immediately on your website as well. If you do not have the website integration yet, we also have a user summit deal, so you can get a month free of the website integration. We're going to be talking a lot today about best ways to use the website integration, how to use it for SEO and to drive your business. So let us know in the chat if you're interested in adding that website integration, and we will be talking more about that today if you have more questions. And then lastly, on the inventory front, I'm going to talk a little bit about our improved layout. So similar to your projects page, you can now customize which inventory columns you'd like in your view. So you'll see over here on the right, the column order there. You can add and remove different columns. You can rearrange those so that you can see the inventory information that is most pertinent to you. But you can also bookmark specific filter sets. So those URLs will all be unique. Once you filter based on the different filters that we discussed, you can save those URLs. And then we also now have the option for a compact or comfortable layout. So one feature request that we got a lot was the size of the inventory images on this page. So with the compact and comfortable layout, you can choose if you want your images to be larger or to be smaller. And then we'll remember that preference. So whenever you visit the inventory page, you will see the layout that you have selected. And we have one more inventory change that Brandon is going to talk about, column usage totals.
All right. So in that manage layout panel that Alison was just mentioning, you'll notice a section of inventory columns labeled usage and revenue. These are special columns that give you usage-based data about your inventory items. So we'll dive a little bit into this data, but overall, this data can help you make important decisions about your business and where to invest your money. Recently, we updated, so these columns had existed previously, but recently we updated the system to allow you to sort by these columns and view aggregate totals in the table footer. You may have noticed at the top of your inventory page, next to the Add Inventory blue button, there's a little date selector. So this date selection impacts the data in your usage and revenue columns. So you can specify specific dates, you can do relative dates like last 30 days, last 90 days, etc. So for example, if you add the gross revenue column and then select the last 90 days, the column data will display the total revenue earned off of your item in the last 90 days. At the bottom of the table, you'll notice a new table footer in that footer row of the gross revenue column, you'll see the total amount of money made across all your inventory items displayed in the table in that period of time. So you might ask yourself, how can these columns help me make any decisions? So consider your busiest season. Let's say it's September through November. You can apply filters to only show certain categories of inventory. So let's say you want to look at your chairs or your tables or your linens, whatever it is, you can apply those category filters on the left side in the filter panel. And then you can use these new columns. So you can use the frequency booked column to show you how many times these items were used over the period of time. You can use the max needed column to see the maximum number of items that were in use at any given point of time. You can use the in stock column to show how many were unused the whole time. And you can use the gross revenue column to see how much money you made off of each item or each category. Collectively, the data in these columns can help you make decisions about where to invest your money for the upcoming year. What do you want to buy more of? What do you want to get rid of? You can also use the in-stock column to quickly see which items you have available for an upcoming weekend. So if you say you have an event coming up in like 3 weeks and you're talking to someone on the phone, you can use this to quickly see at a glance like what you have the most of in stock or what you have the least of. This will help you save time when working with clients and building out quotes. Alternatively, you can actually check out things you have available this coming weekend to offer at a last-minute discount, better than it just sitting in your warehouse. When doing annual audits, you can also easily sort your items by the last contracted date column. So you can easily find items that you're rarely booking and they're just taking up space in your warehouse. So can show you what you want to buy more of, can also show you what you may want to consider purging or having less of. With that, we will now move on to the next feature set that we launched last summer, the new financial hub. I'm sure you have noticed the new finances tab that appeared in your account. This new financial hub is designed to be the center for all of your current and future financial needs within Goodshuffle Pro. When you first come into the hub, you'll land on the overview page. So this is kind of a collection of graphs and charts and numbers, all designed to just give you a summary of important financial information at a glance. You can see money in transit to your bank account. You can see recent payment activity, and you can see upcoming expected payments. You're also able to compare past and upcoming payment activity to prior periods. For example, on the overview, if you look at the client activity section where you can see payment activity, you can select the last 12 months for a given sales user or just overall and easily compare it to the prior period, meaning the 12 months before that. So it'll show you the last 12 months and then the 12 months before that. So you can easily compare how you're doing, how you're growing based on sales user or just as a company. You can also view in the top the payments forecast graph that will show you upcoming revenue, either in upcoming due payments or in authorizations that you already have in place to just kind of give you quick at a glance, like money you can expect to have coming in. Next up after the overview page is the client activity report, which shows all of your customer payment activity. You'll be able to easily filter this list of payment activity to get whatever information you are looking for. If you're looking to run commission reports, you can easily filter down your payment activity by sales lead. Then over the period of time that you've selected in those filters, you can launch the analysis panel. By clicking in the top right corner of your page, there's an analysis button. It'll launch a panel over from the right that shows you totals for payment activity and contract totals. So you'll easily be able to see like how much money did this person bring in over a given period of time, refunds, dispute activity, all that stuff. Generally, just as a quick reminder, we love hearing your feedback on all of these new features that we launch. So please utilize the intercom bubble in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Chat in, let us know what you like, let us know what you don't like, let us know what we could do to improve it. We love hearing all of that. Next up after the client activity report is the company activity report, which gives you more insight into your money actually landing in your bank account. You will see credits known as Goodshuffle settled activity. This is all of your payment activity throughout the day, settling into kind of your Goodshuffle account. And then you will see transfers that represent the money moving from Goodshuffle out into your actual bank account. After company activity, if you have ever received a Stripe Capital Loan offer, you will also see a Stripe Capital Loans tab where you can come in and see more information about any new loan offers you might have, outstanding balances on existing loans, previous loans you've already paid off, and more information around those. Underneath that, you will see the reports tab, which has two reports, the due balances report and the tax report. Due balances, which was previously known as customer aging report before, when we had the reports tab before the financial hub, will show you a breakdown of money that your customers owe you. You can easily choose to break this down by client or by company and view a list of all the projects that you are owed money on. You also have the tax report, which allows you to easily run reports in our system, giving you a breakdown of sales for tax reporting purposes. And you can select whether you want to view this to report on a cash or accrual basis. I'm sure Jake has a help article that he can share on the difference between those two. And be sure to watch out for announcements via intercom or via emails for new financial features in our platform. And back over to Alison for our next feature.
What a fun sneak peek that is. All right, so when I was talking about quote expiration, I said that that was my new favorite feature, but my real new favorite feature is buy now, pay later. I love buy now, pay later. I think this really gives y'all the ability to win more customers. So your customers have the flexibility to pay how they want, which makes them more likely to sign contracts and make those payments. So if you're not familiar with buy now, pay later, we partner with Affirm, which is really one of like the largest financial technology companies in the country. They are the ones who are assuming any of the risk for buy now, pay later. And this allows your customers to pay in installments. So you'll see there on that screenshot on the right, the buy now, pay later Affirm option. Your customers can click into that. They will see the different options available to them. It can be quarterly or monthly payments. The date range sort of changes based on the customer and their credit worthiness, but Affirm handles all of that on their side. So you get paid upfront risk-free. No matter how your customers are choosing to pay, you're always receiving that full payment upfront. This also allows you to boost contract value. So when your customers are seeing those small contracts, those aren't the ones that they're hesitant to sign, right? If they've got a couple $100s worth of items, they'll sign that quickly, typically get it back over to you. But with Affirm, you can add those additional accessories. You can add optional services that maybe you wouldn't have added before, because that flexible financing gives your customers another way to say yes to those bigger quotes. So we have seen our customers really boost contract value here. Again, similar to quote expiration, it gets those contracts signed faster because customers can pay through Affirm right away. They don't have to worry about making sure that their credit card is going to go through, making sure they've got enough in their checking account for ACH. That Affirm option makes it really simple for them to sign and pay immediately. And I think that's it for buy now, pay later. Revamp client view, Brandon.
All right, thank you. We know that client experience is critical to any business. It's one of the reasons our customer experience team invests time and puts on amazing things like this user summit. And we really care about our customers' experience with our business. You may have noticed in the fall that we revamped our client view experience. This was done to offer a faster and more intuitive online signature and payment experience to your customers. Part of maintaining any software is rebuilding and improving existing sections of your application. So in revamping this, our page now loads over 100% faster than the old page did. And our payment experience was improved to be a mobile-first solution. We know that your customers are accessing quotes on a variety of mobile devices, and it was really important to us to make sure this experience was seamless for them, however they're accessing their quotes. Back over to you, Alison.
Yeah, and I really like that we've highlighted that one here, Brandon, because most of y'all on the call don't see this typically because your clients are the ones who are viewing this and experiencing the client view. So we wanted to make sure to highlight that one because it has improved a lot, but not something y'all would typically notice. What's next? Vertical navigation. Okay, so those of you who have been with us for longer than the last couple of months may recall, navigation used to be at the top of your screen. So you would click in, you'd get a drop down, you'd navigate to the next page. So we revamped our navigation to all be on the left-hand side, which has done a couple of things for you. So there is now unified navigation across all of your devices. You'll see the same view whether you're on desktop, tablet, or cell phone. So it makes it really easy for you to go into any of those devices and navigate using that new bar. My favorite thing about this, and I think the most important, is that there is better visibility now into all of the subsections of Goodshuffle Pro. So over on the left, you can easily access templates. You can easily access the financial hub and the reports that live there. So instead of having to click down into multiple layers, you are able to more easily access that. And then you'll also see that little thumbtack in the top right of the vertical navigation bar. So this allows you to expand and collapse that vertical nav, similar to the compact view on inventory. If you pin it, it will revert back to that every time you log into Goodshuffle, so that it's just one of the hundreds of ways you're able to customize your views here. You can pin that view that you prefer. So that is vertical navigation.
All right. So a little bonus here. It's important to note that not all improvements to our system are immediately visible. Recently, we've implemented a variety of security improvements to our platform. As our platform grows and becomes more powerful to your businesses, your security continues to be of the utmost importance to us. It is our job to ensure that your data is protected within Goodshuffle Pro. So first, I'll mention we introduced a new powerful tool called Cloudflare, which allows us to secure your data and protect the integrity and stability of our system. This is something that if you've come from other software companies where they've had a lot of unexpected outages or security or data breaches, like we hear about these things all the time, and it's really important to be proactive and stay on top of things by staying up to date, using these security tools, keeping up with best practices, all of that. So Cloudflare allows us to do things like defend against hackers trying to attack our system, limiting access and blocking traffic to malicious groups of IP addresses or people, strictly enforce secure connections from all your devices, including mobile phones, analyze and optimize the speed of our system to ensure you have the best experience possible. Our system also does not allow login sharing for your protection. We've had users in the past get hit with a revenge attack from unhappy ex-employees, and it's really just not a fun thing to deal with. And then lastly, as you all know, passwords constantly get compromised and sold in the depths of the internet. Simple username password combinations are not enough to secure your account, any account really that you have, so just FYI. Along with rotating your passwords regularly and choosing difficult to guess passwords, I encourage you all to set up two-factor authentication that we have implemented in our system. You can do that in your account settings. You can go through the registration flow. And really what that means is, well, really it's two-factor authentication protects us by adding an additional layer of security to our accounts. So instead of just a username password, you type in your username password, you log in, and then you need a 6-digit code that comes from an application on your phone. So in order to get in, you actually need your physical phone. Which allows, so if someone does get your username password combination for some reason, if you're reusing passwords with other sites or anything like that, typically hackers will like set up scripts to just kind of brute force attack other systems and try to get in. So it's really important to have this extra layer of security. And then for your convenience, we've also implemented a remember this device option. So you'll only have to enter this 6-digit code every 30 days. But you still get all the added security of two-factor authentication. So strongly encourage you to consider this. We can send you help articles on it so you understand a little bit more. It really is not inconvenient at all. And it just adds that extra layer of precaution to keep bad people out of your account. With that, I will hand it back over to Allison to wrap things up.
Thanks, Brandon. So I again, wanted to highlight the security enhancements. This is really not something that you see often or something that, really changes your Goodshuffle Pro experience. In the session tomorrow with Andrew and Eric, who are our co-founders, they will talk a little bit more about the infrastructure behind Goodshuffle Pro and sort of the care and feeding that we put into the platform to make sure that it is secure and fast and reliable for you. So the security enhancements are really another way to make sure that we're protecting you and your information. Something you don't see, but something that is top of mind for Brandon and his team really at all times. So thank you for that, Brandon. All right, so let's do one more quick poll here. So out of the features that we talked about today, would love to hear which one you are most excited about. And while we get that answer, just want to highlight a couple of things from chat regarding our new features. So Samantha highlighted the bulk edit functionality for linen pricing. That is an amazing way to use bulk edit. I know a lot of you have utilized our bulk inventory ad for linens because you have a ton of them that are just slightly different. That bulk ad is a great way to do that. And then as those prices change, you can adjust them using the bulk edit, like Samantha highlighted. So thank you for that, Samantha. Quote expiration seems to be another great feature to highlight. Like I said, one of my favorites. Jesus mentioned that he's been getting more bookings sooner because the client wants to make sure that their rentals are still available. That is a great way to summarize that urgency that quote expiration is providing to people when they log in to see that they've got an expiration date for that. So pop any questions that you still have outstanding into chat and Brandon and I can get those answered. There's a couple in chat that haven't been answered yet, so we'll go through those. Affirm is available to Canadian clients. Chuck, I see your question on the surcharge for Affirm. I will get a help desk link over to you regarding Affirm fees. One thing to note is that we do not pass Affirm fees on to the customer. So it is great information to have to know what fees are being charged for Affirm. So we'll make sure to send that over to you. And then Keisha had a question about refunds through Affirm, which is another great thing to look out for. So all of the refunds are still processed within Goodshuffle Pro. You're still going to send the refund through the billing tab, just like you would with any other project. But Affirm is handling the balancing of the final installments and how that refund is calculated. So you don't have to worry about, any like additional changes that come up with any installments that customers have coming up. Affirm will handle that. You'll handle it the same way you would any other refund from the billing tab. Michaela, yes, we definitely can send you more information on how to use Affirm. And then there is a question from Wayne regarding a history log for actions taken on inventory items. That does indeed exist today. So if a employee or yourself makes any bulk edits to the inventory items, you will be able to see that log of changes that have been made by them. So that was one of the things that we updated this year. We will send you an article on that. I'll send you a help article on that so you can see how to do that, how to access that log. Brenton, thank you very much for sharing that financing link with us. That's very cool. All right, so I'm not seeing any additional questions trickle in here. I'm gonna leave the webinar open here for just another couple of minutes. And if we don't have any additional questions, we will see y'all in the warehouse tours in 5 minutes. Thanks, y'all, and thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure.
Casey, I see your question on specific pricing for certain clients or venues. We do have the ability to add discounts for specific customers. So that's one way that you can have that specific pricing. Are there other details you can share and I can more specifically answer your question? All right, Jesus, that is another one we will follow up with you on separately. All right, I'm going to close this webinar for now, and next session is the warehouse tour, so we will see y'all over there. Thank you so much.